Hallo zusammen! Today's topic is 10 qualities I value in a man. Alright, let's get started.
Number 1.
Vulnerability. It's very crucial that a man can be vulnerable. Not just honest and transparent, but vulnerable. Which means they are kind of sharing things that are really going on the inside of them. Things that usually people don't really like to share. When someone can be completely real about everything in their life and who they are as a person. The good and the bad. Why would you want to hide the bad stuff? Like, we all have it. I think more people should really learn not to be afraid of being vulnerable. If I see a man that really can be vulnerable, especially with the stuff he's struggling with, that is very inspiring and really touching.
Number 2.
Truth comes before comfort. I'm saying that because a lot of people still have that thinking that it's better to lie about something than to hurt a person. But I personally think that's the worst thing you can do. I'd rather be, and I've said that several times in videos, I'd rather be hurt by the truth than later on find out that I was lied to. If someone comes to me and they said, hey, I did this and this and this, I might be angry. I might be very hurt in the moment, but at least I see that I was worth the truth. And I've done stupid stuff. I've made many mistakes. I know what it's like to be on the other side, but then to learn to overcome that fear and just come out with the truth without someone having to ask me, but just being like real. Yes, you still might break something with the stuff you have done. At least you have been honest about it. If you're trying to hide the truth because you don't want to hurt the person, if you hide your stuff because you're afraid of the discomfort it brings to feel guilty, to feel bad for hurting someone, it's worse because you break their trust even more. You've already hurt them anyway. They just don't know yet. It just shows that you're afraid of failing. You're afraid of admitting that you've made a mistake, which we all do, but still we try to hide it because we want people to have this certain image of us, which it's not real anyway. Admitting your mistakes and your shortcomings is not an easy thing to do. That's why I value that about a man that faces the fear of confrontation, the fear of admitting their mistakes, the fear of saying that they have lied or being blamed for things or coming out with secrets they have had. The emotions that might come out of this, because a lot of times when you've done something and you tell a person, there's a bunch of like negative emotions and anger and sadness and hurt and pain. We start feeling guilty even more. By being truthful and by coming out with things like that, of course we trigger them, and a lot of people are afraid of that. So they would rather just keep it a secret. Another thing that I notice a lot in people is that they would do everything for you, but then at the same time they lie to their family members or friends. And one of the things that I've always said and experienced is that if they lie to their parents or their friends, sooner or later they will lie to you too. I can assure you that. If you get into the pattern of lying to certain people, eventually you will lie to the one you love as well. Talking about that is actually a good thing.
Number 3.
When a man has honoring relationships, and I'm not saying lusting after women, because that's a whole other thing. Like, you're going out and they're commenting on the beauty or the butt of other women, then that's a red flag to me. But if they're holding a door for other women, or if they are complimenting another woman, not necessarily on their looks, but their talents, if they respect women. I really dislike the fact that some guys like women too much. What I mean by that is that they lust after other women, which I don't think is a good thing. A man that has self-control in that area, and I know it's not easy because a lot of men react on what they see, it shows even more integrity if you know that someone might have a weakness there, but they really try to pull it together and not comment and look or touch or whatever, especially when they're in a relationship. But I think it also starts when they're single, because whatever they do when they're single, they will take into their relationship. So the more things they can actually have self-control over, the better it is when they are in a relationship with someone. And I'm not saying you can't comment on other women's beauty. I've been dating someone and I was like, oh my gosh, she's so beautiful. Or even, wow, did you see her butt? It's so nice. And he was like, yeah, actually it is. And that's totally fine. And I think it's really cool if you can do that as a couple together. But I've also experienced that guys you would date would just be like,
Zing, look at her. Wow, she's hot.
and things like that. That's just a no-go. You can't do that. You will know when they cross boundaries. You will feel it. It's very obvious usually. Sometimes we have different limits of things. And so I think it's always good to talk about that. But someone that's lusting after a lot of women, it's just not healthy. And it's not honoring to the woman you're dating or the person you're with. That is something that a lot of people in general are struggling with. That's definitely something to look into. I've read somewhere, I don't want a man who makes his woman jealous of other women. And by commenting on the beauty of other women, unconsciously, it's going to do something with her. So I'd rather have someone that's making other women jealous because they're treating me with respect and with honor. And then other women are like,
oh man, I would love to have a husband or a man that is like that.
When that happens, I know that he has so much respect for other women, but he also just honors me as a person. Honoring just goes way beyond just saying,
hey, you look beautiful, babe.
But really being interested in who I am and in my visions for life and my goals.
Number 4.
When they are about other people. They are aware of the people around them and
oh, someone dropped their bag, I'm gonna go help them. Or oh, there's someone coming through, let me hold the door for them.
Just noticing details, helping out without being asked. Being with a man who's about helping others is just one of the most beautiful things ever because it shows that he really cares. He cares for other people and not just his own desires and his own life. And he can treat you amazingly. If he wants you, he's gonna do anything for you. But if at the same time he's treating other people really badly, something is off. One of the very important things to me personally before starting to date someone is I observe how they treat people they don't like, people they don't agree with, or people they cannot benefit from. How do they treat their enemies? How do they treat the people that don't like them, that don't respect them? Loving the people that love you is not a hard thing. It gets really hard when you choose to love the people that are really mean to you or to the ones you love. And I'm not saying to just let people step all over you, but showing respect when someone shows disrespect to me is a higher level of self-control. I've been with someone that has been super nice to everyone. If, for example, you are with someone that treats you super nice, but they are not really nice to waiters or some friends that are not friends anymore. Something happened and now they're mad. I'm always very curious to see how they treat them because I know for a fact at some point in our relationship, I will be on that side too. None of us can avoid conflict. Fighting and all that in a relationship will come because it's part of it. And it's healthy if we know how to do it right. But if I see that the person that I'm with is really mean to the ones they don't like, then I know how they will treat me at some point because there's gonna be a point where they're not gonna like me for what I have done or for whatever. And then I will know exactly how they will treat me. And that's also something we work on because a lot of times with people, I also would just love so much to punch them in the face.
Or in the balls, depending on who they are.
I have to really learn self-control. I have to learn to control my emotions. And that's a journey we're probably going to be on forever. But if someone is just kind of like,
whatever, I'm just gonna be really mean to everyone that's mean to me,
then to me, that's not a mentality of growth in your personality, in your character.
Mumble number 5.
Confrontation is sexy. Confrontation is the key. When a man knows how to confront, that is so attractive. When a man knows how to take the lead in something, how to decide, how to choose, how to pursue, how to fight for something he believes in, how to fight for someone he believes in. A lot of men need to know how to fight for women because they're just like, okay, whatever, when it gets hard. Of course, now I'm sharing from a perspective of a woman, so I talk about men. But there's also a lot of women who have to learn all that. I'm just saying, and I have to learn all that too. So I'm not excluding myself from it. But I just say those are the things that I want to work on personally, and I think it's important that a man works on them as well. So when a man has those qualities,
I love it. I love me some good qualities.
Taking initiative to confront things, especially the bad stuff, because none of us ever wants to confront the bad stuff because it sucks to work through it. But when a man takes the initiative to confront, I'm like,
this is so amazing. This is amazing.
Because it shows they're not afraid of negative emotions. They're not afraid of truth. They're not afraid of working through crap, even in a situation where it's really hard and they're like,
oh my gosh, I could really badly fail, but it's worth it. It's so worth it. And I'm just going to risk risk it. I'm going to do it.
A man that takes a risk and that takes initiative and that confronts and that pursues and that fights, I think that's one of the most precious thing ever. It's kind of in a man's nature to want to do that. But a lot of men are afraid because they're afraid,
what happens if I fail?
I have all those what if scenarios. So I like when someone just takes the initiative and says, you know what? It's worth it. I'm going to try. I'm going to do everything possible to make this good again. Follow through with this. Bring this up that is really uncomfortable to talk about. Being honest about someone hurting you is also very, very strong. And that's also part of confrontation. If you care, you work through crap.
Confrontation is sexy. Number 6. This is sign language for 6.
Okay, this is a good one. Social media. Have a good relationship to social media and your phone. Love so much when a man can put the phone away for a day or two and just spend time with you, be in the moment, forgetting about time. One of the things that I loved when we were talking till 4, 5, 6 a.m. and one time I was even like,
yeah, I have to go to work in an hour.
Those are the best times when you forget about time and you're just so in the moment and you just want to learn everything about the person. And that's usually more so in the beginning because after a few years you already know a lot about the person, but it shouldn't stop there. That is something that we should keep alive. You know, have date nights. I already said that. That's one of my pet peeves. When people are spending time with you and then they're constantly looking at their phone. Even you're saying something and they are on their phone and they're like,
yeah. Oh, yeah.
A lot of times I don't say anything because I'm like, okay, that's like my kind of self-control. Like,
Anja, it's all right. It's all right. It's not that bad. Either stop talking and wait until you have their full attention or just, it's not that important. Just let it go, let it go.
But in a partner, if my partner did that to me, I do not like this. I love men that can put their phone aside and that are just in the moment and that have a good relationship to social media. And I said that in my last video. Show me who or what you follow and like, and I can tell you where you're going. In one of my past relationships, actually not me, but a friend of mine found out that the guy that I was dating was just liking and following so many women. I mean, I love sexy pictures. It's nice, but there is a difference between sexy pictures and
I want you lusting after me.
One of my past partners, you could literally tell which pictures he would like. Where you see butts and boobs were just all liked by him. And it made me feel really, really bad. It really hurt me actually. To see that the man that I was dating goes online all the time and just likes butt and boob pictures and other women. And I don't think if you really care for someone, like why, I really don't understand men that are constantly online looking at half-naked women. It's not honoring your partner at all. There's a really, really good video on YouTube. It's by Nicole Arbor and it's called How Social Media is Killing Your Relationship. She does it in a very funny way, but there's a lot of truth in that. Very straightforward, real in who she is. I already apologize on her behalf. Her choice of words and her language is not very exemplary. Brace yourself for that. A lot of people would say,
well, I'm not in a relationship, so I can like look at whatever I want and like whatever I want.
Even if you aren't in a relationship, you can. And yes, that's true. But I'm just saying that whatever you train your brain with, it will continue when you do have a relationship. You cannot expect from yourself to just keep doing something for several years and your brain is so used to that. And then just because you're in a relationship, stop from one day to another. It might actually work in the beginning, but sooner or later you will go back to old patterns if you have not learned to change them correctly. Just saying. In general, having to see everyone's life, everyone's everything they post all the time, every day, it kind of shows that there is an addiction to it and that might be worth looking into. I have to do that with myself as well. I try to do that regularly. I just say, hey, I'm not going to be on social media for a week or a month, a few days to kind of step back and not get sucked into that whole social media thing where it controls me rather than me controlling it. Social media addiction definitely is not attractive. I like when people in general know how to live in the moment, for sure.
Number 7.
Friends. A man that chooses to have wise, caring, very encouraging and loving friends, and friends that really want to grow in their character, help each other, supporting each other's dreams, inspiring, that are actually moving forward together as a group and not just being stuck in some place. Having a good community is very important. There's so many different sayings about friends. Walk with the wise and you become wise. Walk with the so-and-so and you become that. Whoever you walk with, you're going to become like. You're going to be influenced by who you walk with. That doesn't mean you can't be friends with the ones that go in a different direction. Not at all. I'm friends with so many people that are totally, completely opposite of where I want to go and what I do. And I love them so much. But the ones that I'm on a path with, the ones that I go to when I don't feel well or when I'm overwhelmed with life, the really close friends that are more so family than friends, those are really important for us to choose wisely because they're the ones that really will influence where we're going and who we're becoming.
Number 8.
Opportunities. A man that is open to opportunities, that is not afraid to fail. So a man that actually takes a risk also in whether it's career, traveling, sports, whether it's trying new stuff. Someone that is adventurous or someone even that is not so adventurous, but that push themselves to step out of their comfort zone. This is so cool. And I know how hard it must be seeking out opportunities. Do it. You just face the fear.
Number 9.
Romance. When a man has a feel for romance, that's definitely a plus. I would say romance is important. One of my former partners, even though we didn't work out, was very, very romantic. And I really appreciated that because he would literally go beyond anything you can imagine. He would do everything for me. And it's not about that for me, but just someone that pays attention to details, you know, when they remember things about you that you don't even recall telling them, or someone that just knows what you like by really being interested in who you are as a person and then trying to surprise you or do something nice. That is very sweet and shows how much respect they have and how they want to honor you with things they know that you like. Someone who knows how you drink your coffee, or in my case, your hot chocolate. Small things. I'm not saying, oh, buy me an island, but someone who just really pays attention to detail. That's romantic. The best gift you can give me is just quality time. Spend time together. Even if it's going to fix your car, go for a walk, go shopping, go whatever, just something we do together. That's also something actually for a man to find out what your love language is. That in and of itself is so romantic. I'm a person who loves surprising people, but I also love when people surprise me. For example, you're ready to go to bed and someone picks you up and they're like, okay, let's do picnic in the dark, or just crazy stuff. Like, I love crazy ideas. That's just like my thing, but it's just so nice to do stuff out of the ordinary. I really appreciate and value a man that really has a feel for that. Someone that takes initiative, goes out of his way to do something nice for you. What's also very romantic is when a man is very protective over you. And that's also very different depending on the culture. But for example, in America, what a lot of men actually learn from their parents is when you walk on a sidewalk with a woman, always walk on the outside where the cars are passing by and let her walk on the inside. And in the beginning, I was like, this is so weird, because one of my partners would always do that. I didn't think about that consciously. I was just like walking closer to the road and he would just talk to me and listen to me like, and slowly push me over there and be like, And I started noticing that. And we talked about it once, and it's kind of like the protective thing within him. It's not like a car would come crashing into me. I mean, you never know, but just something small like that. I was so touched and I was like, that is so sweet. The smaller they are, sometimes the more intimate they are. Romance is something that definitely in a relationship, we have to learn to keep it up. One time I was just reading a book. He was sitting next to me also reading a book. We were just reading together, and then he would hold my hand and stroke it. And that to me was like, this means the world to me. Small things like that. I don't need any expensive gifts. I don't need rings and jewelry and stuff like that. Just those small little romantic moments to me mean everything. And a man that goes out of his way to do this, that's it. That's it.
Oh, and give me a massage and I'm all yours. Number 10.
Last but not least, have a growth mindset. A man with a growth mindset, OMG. I would even say that's one of the most important things ever. Why did I put that last? Because I wanted to show you how important the growth mindset is. It trumps everything.
Did I just say Trump?
Honestly, I would rather be with someone who has all the before mentioned problems and is aware of them and taking steps to work on them than being with someone who doesn't have any of those problems but has a
take me or leave me
mindset. To me, says I'm not willing to change. I'm not willing to be open to change. Because someone that has a
take me or leave me
mindset, they're going to be stuck. They're going to plateau. They're not going to grow. And I don't want to be with a person not willing to grow in their character, their personalities. So I'd rather be with someone having all the before mentioned problems, but is willing to look at those things and willing to take steps. That's why I put it at last, because I wanted to show you can have all those problems. I don't care. As long as you say, hey,
yeah, I actually want to look into that. I want to grow. And yeah, maybe it's not that good if I do this or do that.
We are all in a learning, growing process. It takes time. It sucks. We make millions of mistakes. It's fine. We're human. But someone that's choosing to still work on themselves and not pretend that there is nothing to work through, that to me is the most essential and most beautiful thing I can see in the eyes of a man. Everything else is just things like whether you think the same, you have the same humor, you have the same things you like, how we do things, sports, what our interests are, even culture and language, to me is not as important as someone who has a growth mindset. I know couples that they really don't have any of the same interests, but they work so perfectly together because they choose to love each other and they choose to grow, and their relationship is just amazing. And they've been together for 20 whatever years. Similarities, differences, all that stuff, it has become less and less important to me. And looks and whatever. I mean, of course, there's certain things I feel attracted to. Character-wise, I think those 10 things that I mentioned are way more important. The thing really is have a growth mindset. A man with a growth mindset tops everything. All right, so that was my little rant, inspiration / soul-searching moment. Those were just thoughts and wisdoms that I pulled from my experience. And I hope you took something from that. All right, you guys. Cheers!